On December 10th, 2024, Trooper Connor Vrooman was patrolling along U.S. Highway 67 when he spotted a white Dodge Challenger traveling southbound in the left lane for nearly 3 miles. When Vrooman attempted to initiate a traffic stop, the Challenger initially signaled to the right as if to comply, but instead the driver suddenly accelerated and fled, sparking a high-speed pursuit. After several minutes of pursuit, Trooper Vrooman managed to close the gap and executed a precise pit maneuver at nearly 130 miles per hour, causing the Challenger to lose control and slam into the cable barrier on the left side of the roadway. Once the vehicle came to a stop, the suspect jumped out and attempted to flee on foot, but was swiftly apprehended and taken into custody without further incident. The driver, later identified as Dontarius Gordon, was formally charged with no liability insurance, fleeing, reckless driving, resisting arrest, and possession of a controlled substance. On Tuesday, April 13, 2021, Trooper Edwards was traveling westbound on Interstate 16 near mile marker 1 when he noticed a Ford F-150 pickup truck with Georgia license plates that was failing to maintain its lane. Edwards notified Troop D Communications that he was initiating a traffic stop on Interstate 16 West and activated his emergency lights and siren, but instead of complying, the driver accelerated and fled.
Probably 10 minutes. 5 more.
How are you? 33,
After several minutes of pursuit, Edwards spotted an opening and moved in, executing a pit maneuver at nearly 100 miles per hour that sent the truck spinning toward the right side of the roadway. The impact caused Edwards to lose control of his patrol car, which rotated counterclockwise across the interstate before he regained control. Edwards quickly re-engaged, giving loud verbal commands to the suspect, but after receiving no response, he realized the driver had fled on foot. A search of the abandoned truck revealed a license belonging to the registered owner, and upon contacting Troop F, Edwards learned the vehicle had been reported stolen, and the suspect was a 16-year-old runaway from a group home. A warrant was issued, and the juvenile now faces charges of reckless driving, fleeing, and theft. On September 7, 2023, North Little Rock police were actively engaged in a pursuit when they passed Trooper Shoemate and Trooper Bird, who were assisting with a tractor-trailer. Both troopers immediately heard the request for backup and accelerated to join the chase. Moments later, Trooper Shoemate closed the distance and assumed the role of the primary unit in the pursuit. Shortly after, Trooper Shoemate executed a pit maneuver at speeds reaching 130 miles per hour, causing the suspect vehicle to slam into the barrier on the left side before rolling into the median on the right side of the roadway. The driver sustained a broken arm while the passenger suffered bleeding injuries. Both were quickly evaluated by EMS at the scene and transported to a nearby hospital. The driver was later charged with fleeing and reckless driving. On September 21, 2024, the Little Rock Police Department requested assistance in the pursuit of a stolen Dodge Charger. Trooper Raul Parada swiftly responded to the call, quickly closing in and assuming the role of primary unit in the chase.
37, we're approaching baseline now, state second primary. That's down baseline, baseline is down. TBI.
Trooper Parada executed a pit maneuver, disabling the Charger in the middle lane of traffic. Two suspects immediately fled on foot. Little Rock police officers pursued the driver, while Trooper Parada chased after the passenger. Both suspects were quickly apprehended and taken into custody without further incident. The driver, identified as Jabron Lewis, was charged with theft by receiving, criminal mischief, and fleeing. On November 27, 2024, Trooper Trey Smith initiated a traffic stop on a silver Mercedes-Benz C250, traveling along Interstate 430 near mile marker 3. The stop was prompted by speeding and the vehicle having no proof of insurance on file. However, when Smith activated his emergency lights and siren, the driver immediately switched off the vehicle's lights and accelerated to 120 miles per hour, sparking a high-speed pursuit. The suspect repeatedly brake-checked during the pursuit, but Trooper Smith successfully executed a pit maneuver, forcing the Mercedes into a ditch on the right side of the roadway. The driver, later identified as Vincent Anderson, eventually complied and exited the vehicle and was taken into custody without further incident. Smith immediately detected a strong odor of intoxicants emanating from Anderson. He was transported to Baptist Health Medical Center for a medical clearance. Anderson was subsequently charged with fleeing, driving under the influence, driving without a license, reckless driving, and driving without insurance. On December 21, 2024, Arkansas State Police troopers were notified of a merchandise theft from a GameStop store in West Memphis. The suspects were reported to have fled the scene in a white Nissan Maxima. Trooper Stephen Roberts soon located the suspect vehicle at the intersection of Avalon Street and the East Service Road and initiated a pursuit as the vehicle careened recklessly through residential streets at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. Trooper Roberts successfully executed a pit maneuver at the intersection of Broadway Boulevard and Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, bringing the suspect vehicle to a stop. All three suspects were promptly taken into custody, and over $2,600 worth of stolen merchandise was recovered. The driver, later identified as Dennis Davis, along with the passengers, were transported to the Crittenden County Detention Center. Davis now faces multiple charges, including theft of property, reckless driving, possession of drug paraphernalia, fleeing, and additional traffic violations. On December 17, 2023, a Florida trooper observed a gray Dodge Charger with a loud aftermarket exhaust performing aggressive launches on West Blue Heron Boulevard. A pursuit was immediately initiated, and the chase reached speeds of nearly 140 miles per hour. The vehicle continued traveling at high speeds throughout the city of Palm Beach Gardens until the troopers successfully executed a pit maneuver. The Charger collided with bushes and street signs along the right shoulder before coming to a complete stop. The driver, later identified as Jalen Camaria, immediately exited the vehicle and fled eastbound, running through multiple backyards and lawns. He was later located hiding in bushes on private property. Camaria was charged with reckless driving, fleeing, burglary, driving without a license, and hit and run. On November 16, 2024, Trooper Chance Fortune responded to a report of a blue Scion observed driving recklessly and forcing other vehicles off the road. Upon locating the vehicle, he attempted to initiate a traffic stop, but the driver refused to comply. Trooper Fortune then activated his emergency lights and sirens, initiating a high-speed pursuit.
Continuing 40 West. TBI 40 West, 147. 906.
Trooper Fortune closed the distance and executed a pit maneuver, forcing the suspect vehicle into the grassy median separating the eastbound and westbound lanes of I-40. The vehicle came to a complete stop, immobilized and facing east in the middle of the median. The driver appeared to surrender and was taken into custody without further incident. The vehicle was later determined to have been involved in multiple criminal activities, including both felony and misdemeanor offenses. The driver was subsequently charged with fleeing, reckless driving, disorderly conduct, and driving without insurance. Thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to comment which clip you like the most. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like this video.